Hello, my beautiful people. Thank you so much for clicking on this channel. I'm so grateful to have you guys here. My name is Pamela, and on this channel, I share all things DIY as well as hauls. And if you guys like that kind of content, please do not hesitate to subscribe, as well as hitting that like button. It will let me know that I am heading in the right direction. All right, for this first DIY, what you'll need is this wired wreath that you can get at Dollar Tree and some wire cutters. You want to remove that first heart, or that first big heart, from the wreath using those wire cutters. As you can see, I'm having quite a bit of trouble, and I'm going back and forth from a smaller wire cutter to this like jumbo mammoth wire cutter, and going back and forth trying to like maneuver it out. But then I go and I break it, but that's okay because we can fix that. Okay, to fix what I've broke, I first started off with some hot glue, because originally what I wanted to do was just leave the wire exposed and keep the heart as simple as possible. But I found out very clearly, very fast, that hot glue was just not doing it. So what I did instead is I took some painter's tape. You can use whatever tape you have on hand to just better secure that heart in. And to disguise that tape that I put on there, I just wrapped it around with some white yarn. I know that Dollar Tree carries yarn as well, but I got my yarn from Goodwill, and I think I paid like 99 cents. And with that yarn, you just want to completely cover that heart with that yarn. Not only will it help it secure the heart in place because I broke it, but it will also give it a finished look. Okay, so next you want to go ahead and grab about 3 different color yarns. I'm grabbing this gray one, this like a lighter pink, and then a dark pink, and we're going to make some tassels. So for the tassels, what you're going to want to do is go ahead and grab your phone, and you're going to wrap it around about, 6 to 8 times. And to secure your what you've just wrapped, you're going to want to take another piece of that white yarn that we wrapped the heart with and tie it off. And then again, take another piece of that white yarn and just tie it off on the top. Next, you're going to want to cut off the bottom and then start unraveling those tassels. It's so funny that I'm like doing DIYs because I'm probably the worst person to describe stuff. I'm like one of those people that like say, you know that thing with that thingy, you just do that thing. So it's so funny that I like fell into DIYing and trying to describe what I do or what I'm doing. Okay, so I decided to go ahead and grab the lighter pink tassels, as you can see here, and just wrapping it around the dark pink one to give it some sort of contrast. And I did that for every single one of my tassel. I made about 9 of them, but I ended up just using 6. All right, so there's our heart. And the next thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and tie on your tassels. Or I did leave some yarn at the end of my tassels, so I can go ahead and tie it. And I did a gray one, a light pink one, and then a darker pink one. And I just did that pattern throughout. So once you've secured all your little tassels and you placed them everywhere you wanted to, I went ahead and I hot glued them onto the wreath to just make sure that they're not going to slip around. And voila, ladies and gentlemen, you have somewhat of like a boho Valentine wreath. What do you guys think? Do you like it or what? All right, for our second DIY, what you're gonna need is that inner wreath that we cut off on this first DIY. I'm gonna use that heart, and then you're also gonna use those yarn that we bought at Dollar Tree, as well as some of these roses. These are beautiful. When I found them at Dollar Tree, I was like, oh my gosh, these are gorgeous. And obviously I needed to use them for my Valentine's Day wreath that I'm about to make. So you wanna start off by going ahead and gluing down that yarn and just wrapping it around that wreath. Now, as you can see, there's sections on that heart. You're gonna wrap it up until the next section, and then you're gonna grab your next color yarn and you're gonna keep wrapping around. And you're gonna do that until you hit the very end. Does that make sense? Well, you'll see in a minute what I do. All right, so I'm at the very end of that gray yarn. I'm just gluing it down, making sure everything is nice and secure, cutting that off, and just putting some more glue on there. All right, and see how that section ended, and there's a new section. I'm just getting another color of yarn, and I'm gonna go ahead and wrap that all the way up to that next line. That's what it'll kind of look like at the end. I'm gonna grab those beautiful roses and begin removing them from the bundle and wrapping them around my wreath. Once I get them to how I want them to look, I'm just gonna go ahead and take some hot glue and just glue it down. Guys, this was so beautiful the way it turned out. I just love it, and I know that this is something I'm gonna keep for a long time. It just was so romantic, and it looks so high end, and I just love everything about it. So I didn't put a picture on here, but I did end up putting this one and that first wreath together, and oh my gosh, it looked like something you could buy at like Hobby Lobby or TJ Maxx or Kirkland's. It was just so beautiful, and it looked so high end. See here, I'm trying to figure out if I wanted to add in the leaves, and I didn't end up adding the leaves onto it. I just kept the roses and kept it simple. Then I was trying to decide either I wanted a ribbon to hang it up, but at the end I decided just to go ahead and take that gray yarn and make a little loop at the top so I can hang this wreath. How beautiful did this one turn out? This was gorgeous. I just love the way this turned out. On to the third DIY. This one was so simple, and if you guys love that farmhouse look, you guys will absolutely love this one. Okay, so I started off by grabbing this tote bag that I also got at Dollar Tree, cutting off the handles, and then tracing a heart with a pencil. Once I got the heart to look like the way I wanted it to, I went ahead and I cut it out. You guys, this DIY was so simple, yet so adorable. Now that I have the heart all cut out, you're going to go ahead and flip the heart over. Take your hot glue gun, and you're just going to want to glue down the edges. You just want to seal down the edges with that glue. Okay, so I didn't seal it all the way. I kept a little bit of it open at the top, and you're gonna just flip it inside out again to the right side. And can you guess what we're making? Yep, we're making a heart pillow. This came out so stinking cute. I just love it. Then you're gonna take some stuffing. Mine was from an old pillow that I had that my dog kind of chewed up and tore apart, so I decided to go ahead and keep that stuffing for occasions like this. But I know for sure that Walmart sells some, or you can even I want to say Dollar General sells a pack of 2 pillows for $2. And you can always do that. And once I put the stuffing in, I went ahead and sealed up my heart. And then to finish off my pillow, I just put this cute little bow on top, and the ribbon is from Dollar Tree as well. And there you have it, your cute little heart pillow. Do you guys like this one? Let me know, leave a comment down below. All right, for our fourth and final DIY, I would have to say this is definitely my favorite, and it's definitely perfect for a tier tray. And the first thing you're going to want to do is take some of these planters that I got over at Dollar Tree. They come in a pack of 4. And then what I did is I went ahead and I painted it with my Rust-Oleum Linen White paint, and I gave this about 2 coats of paint. Then, once everything is nice and dry, oh, whoa, too soon, too fast. I'm telling you, I'm the worst at explaining DIYs. Okay, so these little wooden letters I got at Dollar Tree, and they have the wooden letters and they have the wooden numbers. But what I'm doing here is I'm grabbing an I and a U. Yes, we're gonna do an I and a U, and we're gonna cover it with this moss. Now, I know Dollar Tree has these 2 different types of moss, one that's a little bit more green than the one that I use, but I could only find one bag of the moss, and it happened to be this brown, like yellow dookie color. So that's what I had. That's what I used to work with. Then you're going to want to cover your letters in that moss, front and back. Then I'm taking these wooden dowels that Dollar Tree also carries, and I just cut them to the size that I want, and I just hot glued them down onto my letters. Next, I'm going to take this wooden heart. I know they come in like a red, a pink. Well, they come in a pack of a red, pink, and just a neutral color. And I went ahead and grabbed the red one, and I'm just gluing that down as well to that dowel. Now that my pot is all nice and dry, go ahead and take a damp cloth, and we're going to go ahead and distress it. If you guys haven't seen already, like I love farmhouse look. So most of my stuff, if anything, will probably be distressed. Okay, now that I've gotten it all distressed or the way I want it to look, I'm going to take some of this foam, or like gardening foam, or I don't even know what this stuff is called. I know it's a foam. And I'm just going to squeeze it into that planter, make sure it fits nicely and it's snugged in there. And I'm going to take this checkered ribbon, or it's not checkered. What do you guys call it? Gamum? I don't know how to pronounce it. And I'm just going to wrap it around my planter. Now with that same ribbon, I'm just making a bow. Taking some of my red yarn and just tying off the bow and gluing it right on there. Then I'm going to take quite a bit of hot glue, and I'm just going to kind of just submerge my foam in that hot glue, stuffing the moss right in. Then, to make these little letters just a little bit cuter, I made these tiny little red bows using my red yarn, and I'm just going to glue it at the end of my letters. Then I took this bundle of these like heart foam bundle flower, I don't know what to call them. And I'm just using the leaves, and I'm sticking them in there to just give them a little bit more of like a contrast, more of a color, because I really do not like the color of this moss. Again, I'm just using some of that greenery from that bundle of hearts and just sticking those white little flowers in there. Then I'm taking my letters and my heart that we just made, and I'm sticking that right in. And there you have it, guys. This was so cute, and definitely super cute for a tier tray. What do you guys think? Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.